All right, welcome back to another video. It's Mark here again with Marxisms. I have my aunt Karen with me today, and we're going to talk about a couple of different things. We're actually going to do start off with one video, and we'll do another one later, maybe. Okay, so here is my aunt Karen, and we're both on right now. What we're going to talk about right now is the E-6B deployment into the Middle East. Um, and what the E-6B is, if you don't know, the E-6B Mercury, it's a converted 707 Boeing 707 airframe that has basically a sophisticated team that does what basically Operation Looking Glass during the Cold War. They were the command and control in the sky under nuclear conditions. Well, we've sent two of them over to the Middle East. One left from Tinker Air Base, or Tinker Air Force Base, and one left from Patuxent Naval Air Station. In, I think Maryland is where that is. And They're in the Middle East now, and um, obviously these are meant to control the triad of missiles, nuclear missile capabilities. The triad being submarines, intercontinental ballistic missiles, and I believe airborne airborne missiles as well, like from B-52s or whatever. Um, it also has some conventional uses, but it's basically used in operations where there's the possibility of some kind of nuclear threat, where everything on the ground is command and control is wiped out. You still are able to maintain it from the air. Um, do you have anything to say about this, Karen? Aunt Karen?
Well, yeah, for me, it's because I think it's scary
Yeah, it
what
is.
can happen. And I'm afraid Trump would like to push that button if he could.
Yeah, I'm going to get to
And
that.
so, that it makes it's very unsettling.
Y-
Let's leave it at that. Very unsettling.
yes.
Because they will retaliate. That's
Well,
about it.
well, yeah. I mean, I don't think they have a nuclear weapon yet. I mean, their enrichment is at 60%, and you need 90%. And he
Right.
was saying they were like 2 weeks away from, or a week. He said a couple different things. You know how he is. It changes day to day. But he said a couple days. The first thing I heard was that they were 2 weeks away from a nuclear weapon. Well, that's not true. What they were 2 weeks away from, I mentioned this in my other video yesterday, is they're 2 weeks away from enriching the uranium to 90%, because that's what it takes from 60 to 90. And then 90 is what you need minimum to create a nuclear bomb. Um, and so then they would have to assemble the bomb and all that stuff. And the problem is didn't we destroy their nuclear capabilities and utterly destroy them with those bunker busters?
That's what he told us.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the truth about that is that wasn't, they weren't completely destroyed. They may be buried, um, but that's where the centrifuges are. So if they don't have the centrifuges, they can't enrich the uranium to 90%. I'm not sure what all the status is out there, because they don't. A lot of it's not really
I
public.
read, yeah, I read somewhere that they think they may have moved them because they were prepared for that, but nobody, I don't think
Yes.
anyone knows for sure. But now,
Right.
don't we have to be concerned though that someone else would retaliate to a nuclear
Yeah.
missile? I
Yeah.
mean,
The yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, Russia's their ally. I mean, that would be stupid on Russia's part. But any use of nuclear weapons just opens up a Pandora box, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be an all-out nuclear war, but it's a good possibility. I mean, it's not something you want to mess with.
no,
The problem with Trump, and see, I want to get into this too, because his personality and his his complete lack of knowledge, and
right, that would be better,
yeah,
right?
and he doesn't really care to educate himself, is from what I can see. I mean, he'll say the same stupid things over and over again, and it's like you'd think before you get on and speak. I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, I do research before I get on here. I don't want to come on here and just say stupid stuff that doesn't isn't true. I mean, I want to,
Right.
and I'm not always right. I mean, I could go back in some of my videos. I go, oh, I was wrong about that one, because that's the way I'm human. So
But that's okay.
Yeah,
you
of
know?
course, and especially if you're able to admit it, you know. But
Right.
here's the thing with Trump's personality, I don't think he knows enough of. Well, he doesn't know about what nuclear weapons. I mean, he wanted to nuke a hurricane, so he knows as much about nuclear weapons as he knows about hurricanes. I mean, and both not much because
Right.
it won't work. B, it would just distribute fallout everywhere. I mean, it
Right.
would be an absolute disaster. You're better off having a hurricane instead of
Right.
a radioactive
Well,
hurricane.
and we've all heard him say, I know more than all the generals.
Well, that's
I know
that's
more than anybody.
That's what's scary when somebody is that ignorant and then thinks they're smart. I mean, he's like the most dangerous person. And then the thing is, everybody goes along with him, so he has all these sycophants kissing his butt. It's just a recipe for disaster. I mean,
Well, the only thing that I'm hoping, I don't know what you think about this, is that this might be the beginning of the collapse of this administration. They
well,
don't know what they're doing.
they're
God,
they're
those people are
losing
pretty dangerous.
they're losing support. I mean, obviously the independents, the middle of the roaders, they probably went first.
Right,
There's still the hardline MAGA out there, and of course, Facebook's filled with the propaganda. I'm not really that on Facebook that much anymore. I've kind of
right.
soured
Oh, yeah.
about social media anyway, and it's just everything's AI. It's ridiculous, and the political propaganda is just so over the top. It's coming from Russia, you can tell, and
Yeah,
MAGA eats it up, and it's just frightening.
I
Um,
know. It just, I don't know. But even Fox has retracted a couple things, which kind of
yeah,
gives us a little hint of maybe that it's beginning to crack, but I I just, he all somebody has to do is tick him off and he wouldn't think twice about pushing the button. I mean, that's what scares me. And I realize
yeah.
it's just not the button, but are the generals all going along with this?
I guess it's too bad my girlfriend didn't realize this, but over the last 2 years, that since we've been dating, the Facebook has really gone over the edge, and I was getting more and more sick of it. So I wasn't even actually on there that much anymore. I was just I go on there to post my videos, and most of the time when I was commenting on stuff, it was right on YouTube, and so it's that's kind of a shame, but yeah. So anyway, so with Trump's personality though. Um, he's eh, I think it's kind of like a bucket list thing with him almost. I've heard him talk about this stuff before, and it's like why I mean I've heard him basically say, I mean I'm pretty sure he's like, why not use this weapon that we have.
Right.
I think he wants, he's just talking about unconditional surrender, and I think he's trying to, replay the whole, surrender of Japan in his head over this thing because I think he thinks that he can nuke. I don't know if he's going to nuke one of their enrichment plants, which would be better, because they're usually out in the desert somewhere. Is he going to nuke Tehran or another major city? I mean, but I believe that he really wants to do this. To be honest with
Oh
you,
yeah.
I really do. I honestly believe that he wants to do this, and certainly having those planes over there is a good deterrent. I mean, I would, if I was president and I was in this situation, I wouldn't be in this war to begin with. And we'll talk about that
Right.
in the next video. But I wouldn't be in this war to begin with, but if I was in this war, I would definitely want to have those planes over there to so that everybody goes, "Huh, is he going to use nuclear weapons?" And then, of course,
Right.
not.
Right.
Of course, I wouldn't. But as the president of the United States, I would never say that. I would just say, "Maybe we got him."
Yeah.
you
Well,
know?
the thing that concerns me, and this is me,
Yeah.
I don't think he cares who he kills.
Hmm.
I don't think he cares
No.
if he kills children, women, men. In fact, he has said he will obliterate Iran.
Yeah.
That means get rid of them all.
Yeah.
And so and then having Netanyahu involved in this is just over the top. Over
Yeah.
the top. Netanyahu doesn't care.
No.
He's committed genocide. And we could have a whole show on
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah. We
It
definitely
is
could.
genocide. There's
Yeah.
no getting around it. And he doesn't care. And so I'm just kind of confused about what does Saudi Arabia think about
Excuse
this?
me. Oh, they're not happy. They're on
Oh
our
no,
they're on our
they're
they're on our side.
they're bombing Dubai. I mean, this is
Yeah. Well, they don't.
not us,
Well,
you know.
they're enemies anyway because Iran is Shia
Yeah,
and and this Shia Sunni thing, which is as dumb as the Catholic Protestant thing. Really, it's like, come on,
I just love it.
you have like 97% in common, and then you have these, and you're arguing and fighting over these differences. It's just stupid. But
Well, and I don't know if I said this the last time I was on, but I took a class on this whole Middle East thing,
mm,
and it was the most eye-opening thing I've ever done.
I've
And we can't solve their problems.
no.
They go back thousands of
Well,
years.
he was speaking recently, and he's talking about this goes back to this, 70s, and it's like, no, it doesn't. It goes way further back than that.
Goes back to the time of Christ.
Well,
It does.
as far as Iran goes, Iran should be our best one of our best allies over there because they loved us and we basically shit on them. I mean, we did the same thing to them that the British did. They were looking for our leadership to get out from under the wing of Russia and Britain and France and these other powers, the colonial powers, and they were, America, land of the free. They're going to help us, but they didn't realize that we're just, um, closet colonialists, I guess. I don't know. We do it a different way.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. Our history really isn't
No,
that great. I
it's
mean, look
not.
what we did to the Native Americans. We came here and what we do?
And
We like the fact that they weren't Christian.
and Republicans will say, "Oh, you hate America." It's like, no, I don't hate America, but I hate some of the evil shit that we've done, and we have done some evil stuff. We have committed genocide. We did steal this land. Uh,
I know.
I mean,
Well, and there's some representative in Texas, I can't think of his name right now, who thinks Native Americans should be deported. So I sent
to
him a question, said, so where would you deport these people? This
we
is their land.
well, you could start by deporting the Cherokee back to the East Coast, back to their original homeland.
I'm just like, oh my gosh. But the thing that worries me is nobody's controlling this man
No,
or
no.
even try because Hegseth is just as hungry as President Trump is. And
And so is Rubio now.
oh, I know.
Rubio's like he's done like a complete 180.
I don't understand why the GOP can't stand up and do what's right.
I don't
I
either.
don't. I don't get it. And they have to know that they're on the wrong side of history. They have to know that.
A lot of them do. That's the thing from reading Liz Cheney's book. I mean,
Oh, yeah. I mean,
they do know. That's the thing. I mean, reading the Fox News emails on January 6th, they knew.
yeah.
It's like,
And
but this, for some reason, I don't know. I don't really understand it. I mean, because my thing, all growing up and learn because I grew up loving history. At grandma and grandpa's house, I was there in the couple of those summers after my dad passed, and I was bored during the day. Chris would take me out at night and stuff, but I was bored during the day, so I started reading the Bicentennial series. Um,
oh, yeah.
yeah, and I think that summer I read most of the ones that were out already, and I think I read all the ones that Grandma had, and
Yeah.
you know how she had her little stack of paperbacks, and
Well, she read them all. Dad,
yeah.
Uncle Mike is the one. He started with it, and then everybody in the family got hooked on
Oh,
the
Uncle Mike got that started, huh? Yeah, and I know my mom had read them too, and but I loved those, and I fell in love with history. That was
oh
when I fell in love with history, and that's when I started reading real history books. But what I would do is, I would look through our encyclopedias when I would come across a name because I didn't really know if they were real or not. It's a historical novel; some are real, some are not. So I'd always look them up, and then if they were real, I'd read all about them, and then I'd have this greater overview of what was going on. So it was really fun. So that's what gave me my love of history. Thank you, Grandma. The woman was a saint, I have to say.
yeah. But that's one of the things that bothers me about today. Did we learn nothing from history?
No.
I
But
mean,
well, that's what I was going to say was as a kid reading this stuff and reading, and then eventually reading, Rise and Fall of the Third Reich and stuff like that. People will see that in the background. They'll see, oh, you got the book with a swastika on it. It's like, yeah, that's a history book, you nitwit. It's like one of the most famous ones. But and some of these other things, it's like, I I always said, okay, if we have a person like that, I want to be smart enough to see it and to oppose it. And
Right.
here we are.
I know.
All that
Either
training wasn't for nothing.
okay, either this GOP mind block or whatever it is either they're afraid,
They are.
there's some that's holding them, they're really afraid, or they want the power and the money too.
There's probably a little
Or it
bit of.
could be a combination of both.
It's a combination of both, I think, because initially I think that they essentially are uh, would have. Well, I mean, bottom line is they're afraid of MAGA. They're afraid of the rank and
Right.
file, and they're afraid of their losing elections. I mean, look at Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney had the most conservative voting record in all of Congress, and now she's considered a communist.
I know.
I
I
mean, which
just
is ridiculous. I mean, it's like she's just one of the few that actually stood up to him, and she's completely vilified by these people. They see that kind of stuff, and they're like, "Well, I don't want that to be me." That's why you've
that's
seen a
well,
lot
it's
of
the
these
same.
guys. That's why a lot of these guys are resigning.
I know,
These,
and it's the same with Adam Kinzinger.
yeah,
And
yes,
Miles Taylor worked okay, it just escaped me. He was the head of Miles Taylor worked for Trump anyway in the first
uh
administration.
huh,
And he says, I know what's going on here.
yeah,
And people won't believe him. They just vilify him. And it's just so I it's mind boggling. That's what it is.
yeah, yeah.
It,
Well, it's like Liz said in her book, and um, she didn't say who it was, but this GOP congressman, they were voting on something. He goes, oh, what we do for the orange Jesus.
oh, see, yeah.
And the thing is, obviously he was against it, but he was voting for it because
I know. And
it's
I've
like,
heard Democrats say that in private, they tell them they know what he's doing,
yeah,
but then they turn around like the other day they wouldn't vote to put any restraints on this war.
I
And we're
know.
out.
Well,
What is wrong with them? I mean, do they not? Well, the thing I don't get
they've
is
abdicated.
they're worried about the elections. They've already lost them.
Yeah.
They have,
Yeah. Oh, they know. Oh, definitely, and they know it.
and if it's a fair election, which is
It's
questionable here,
not gonna
but
be.
let's say it somehow worked out and it was fair, the Republicans are going to be gone.
Yeah, and
Well,
he will be impeached.
oh, and he will, and he knows that.
And that's why I don't think there will be an election. I think that's why like this war, and that's why I think he's going to drop a nuke too, because he's like, okay, look what's going on in the world, man. We have a nuclear war. We can't have a. It's like the nuclear war you started, but that doesn't matter because he's doing that with ICE anyway. It's like, oh, Portland's a war zone, and it wasn't, and
No,
then it became a war zone.
yeah.
Same with
Well,
Minnesota.
thank God for
I
Minnesota.
was going to say, God bless them, man. They stood the f up to him, man. It was great.
And that's the terrible part. I mean, I heard him say Friday, I think it was Thursday or Friday. He said this. He tried to backpedal the whole immigration thing, right?
Hmm.
Oh, we only wanted to take the criminals out. I never wanted to do the hardworking people who live here. Then release all the people in the detention centers.
Then why? Yeah, then why are the majority of the people not criminals? I mean, that's the thing. They caught very few criminals.
I know it's a small percentage,
Well,
but
and
it's not good.
crime rates were dropping anyway. They've been dropping since the 70s. We had a spike. Actually, I think it was during the first Trump administration. We had a spike in crime, and then
Mm-hmm.
but ultimately, since like the late 70s or something like that, we've been in decline, and we peaked at one point, and then we've been in decline since then.
Right.
And before he took office this time, and crime was at a many decades low. And I mean, and it is lower. It was a trend that was that started before he took office, though,
Okay.
and I do think that Probably there's less crime because of stuff that's going on because people are, let's say it's they're afraid. You
Yeah.
know, so
Well, and another kind of clue to the GOP is, I don't know if you saw it, I only saw a small clip, but Lindsey Graham was on Fox News. He's high on something.
that
I,
guy's
I really, I wondered, are you on cocaine? I mean, now he says he's giddy because Cuba's going to be next. And I'm like, what is wrong with
and
you?
Marco Rubio's like that too. He's like just itching to be like Trump. I think wants to make him like governor of Cuba or some crap like that.
Oh my gosh, this business of going after South America too. All
Well,
of a sudden now, the drug
well,
lords.
the Don Road. This is the Don Road document that we've got troops in Ecuador right now.
Right,
We're
right,
working with the Ecuadorians on that, so that's I'm
right,
sort of okay with that. But
right.
in going after drug
Well,
dealers, I don't have a problem with that.
right.
You
And
know,
he's still Greenland,
yeah.
and I believe he still wants Canada.
Yeah, and
Because
Green and Greenland. I mean, Greenland's about a lot of things. Greenland's about a deterrent of ships coming over the Atlantic. It's a good
right.
place to knock down missiles going over the Arctic, and of course the natural resources. But wouldn't it be great if we had somebody there that was an ally?
Oh wait, hold on.
Then we wouldn't have to take it.
I know. It's just mind-boggling to me how that can how they can think this way. Number
I know,
one,
right?
and he does not care about anybody. And I do not believe he cares about Americans. I don't.
Hell no, hell no.
Right.
He just wants to get rich, and he is. He's getting very. Him and his family are getting very very wealthy, and it's
It,
at the expense of the American people. And
right.
I don't know why red state Americans, who are that's where most of the welfare cases are. I don't know why they're not up in arms. I guess they're just not educated enough. I mean, I don't know.
That's the only thing I can figure out because it's the blue states who are the most profitable. California has one of
fourth
the best
fourth largest economy in the world.
economy. That was the word that escaped me.
Yep.
And why would he want to treat them like that? I just but how? What worries me is it appears he's implanted into our military people just like him
Yeah.
because he fired all the good generals. Now, I heard someone say that the general that spoke with Hegseth, I think on Friday,
Yeah.
he's a guy. They said, well, he was a good guy, but he's doing whatever they say.
Yeah, the guy. I know who you're talking. I know exactly who you're talking. He just gave that briefing the other day.
Right,
Yeah, like
right.
yesterday, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think he was on it yesterday too.
Yeah, he's not. I was kind of surprised at his because most of the guys are like kind of bigger. He's not that big. I
Oh,
was
I
kind of,
know. In fact,
which doesn't mean anything.
I wonder if he has short man syndrome. But I just, is it because
Don't they call that a marine?
maybe? But I think to myself, do they not? Why don't they believe the older generation when we talk about things that happened before?
Yeah.
I was not born when the nuclear bomb was dropped in Japan, but I remember my father, who was in the Second World, talking about it.
Yeah.
And what grief it caused, and many people felt guilty over it, especially the men who were flying the planes that dropped the bombs. But they just don't seem to want to believe. It's like, oh, that didn't really happen.
I know.
They're just saying that. And it's the whole healthcare thing too. Oh my gosh, what
you
is wrong with these
you
people?
you have this whole phenomenon now where people don't believe the Apollo mission happened.
Oh yes,
There's
right.
people and the flat earthers, and it's like we grew up living a lie that Columbus was sitting there going, "Oh, these people are all wrong. The Earth isn't flat." We've always known the Earth wasn't flat. I mean, not always, but obviously maybe some
Right.
caveman 2 million years ago didn't. But Aristotle, the Greeks, they knew that it was
Somewhere
round.
along the line, it must have been what's happening happening now.
Well,
They
that
got to thinking,
well,
oh, it's flat.
that's typical American history, though. We were taught so many just ridiculous lies. It's like the
Well,
whole concept of America being a great country because Americans are this is Yankee ingenuity. Americans are great people, and all this stuff. And it's like, that's actually geography. We're no better than anybody else. We are everybody else. That's the thing. It's
I
like,
know.
we are the Germans and the Irish and the English and the Zimbabweans and whatnot. We're all of those things.
Right.
We have the Mississippi River and the intercoastal waterways and two oceans and the three greatest deep water ports in the world. I mean, we would have to be complete idiots not to be prosperous.
I know. Well, and the other thing is, why do well, I think the biggest thing for me, and I would think you feel this way too, even though you're younger than me, I never knew so much racism
Oh my
existed in the
God.
United States.
I actually, it's I kind of did though. There's is a thing. For a long time I didn't, but I had my, I don't know. You've heard my friend Bajan Malvawala, the one he's running
Oh
for
yeah.
Congress right now. Um, he and I, back when I was a Republican, I had like 5,000 Facebook friends, and I was, I didn't know they were just, GOP people that I, from around the country that we were, whatever. And Bajan kept telling me that how much racism there was, and I'm like, yeah, I'm sure it's in both parties too. I mean, I've known Democrats that were racists, you know,
Oh,
and
they are. Yeah.
and and so I decided to test it, and I found out that yeah, I mean, when you really boil it down, it's like because they don't think they're racist if they're anti-Islam. First of all,
Yeah.
so
That's
yeah, you
you're
are
right about
racist if
that.
you're anti-Islam. If you think that if I have a Muslim friend, and that's what I had somebody tell me that you have a Muslim friend, he is not your friend. He's going to cut your head off someday. I'm like,
Yeah.
I really don't think so, but
No, I know people like that.
yeah,
And
and they don't like
just
gay
to
people, but they feel like they're justified because of the Bible, which is
right.
utter nonsense. And if they're Christians, they wouldn't feel that way because Jesus was
No.
doing away. That was his whole thing, was doing away with all the man-made laws, which was what those were. He concentrated on the Ten Commandments. I mean, it takes a study of Jesus outside of church to probably know these things because you're just taught you're what you're taught to believe. But I've read the Bible independently. I read it as a historian. I didn't read it as a religious person, and so I have, I think, a greater understanding of it. I also know a lot of the things that have changed in it and
Yeah.
why.
And one of the things today, and the evangelicals and the Christian nationalists are like this.
Yeah,
Okay, if you're living by the Old Testament, you're not
a
a Christian.
Christian. That is absolutely correct. Yep,
Right.
that's
You
been
should
my
be
point.
paying attention to the new
New covenant. Yep, it's a
that's
it's a new
right.
covenant. That's right. That's what it
Right.
is. It's a new
Right.
covenant, and it's
And
based on Jesus's teachings, and it's
right.
not just accepting him, like
No.
some texts want to say, like the Protestants want to believe. It's not about that. It's about living, and it's not.
No.
I don't even think it is that personally. My personal belief is in of God is that God does not. If God exists, He does not care if you believe in Him or not. He wants you to do well and do good. That's all.
Right. And do good.
And
That's it.
that's
Because
Jesus.
I've
That's
had
what
the
Jesus taught. And that's what Jesus taught.
Mhm. And I've had the argument with people recently, in fact, that um, I said to them, oh gosh, oh, if Jesus came tomorrow, if he came down tomorrow and we knew it, where do you think he'd be? I asked
Alligator
them,
Alcatraz.
and they said, well, what do you mean? And I said, who do you think he will be helping? And they really couldn't give me a good answer.
Nope.
And they said, well, who do you think? I said, he will be at the border. He will be with the poor people. He will be helping women.
Yep.
Will be helping everyone who believes and needs him. He doesn't care if they're immigrants.
I,
He,
I've yet to hear a good argument for Jesus being a capitalist.
you what?
I've yet to hear a good argument for Jesus being a capitalist.
Oh, right. And that's the other thing, I think I've said this to you before. Pope Francis said capitalism on paper is the best system you could ever want.
Yep.
But in America, it's an example of capitalism gone amok.
It is because it's crony capitalism. First of all, we essentially have socialism, but it's socialism for the elite.
Right.
So if you're a bank and you screw up and you burn a bunch of people, those people, tough luck, they lost their money. But you know what? We're going to help you out. We're going to bail your damn bank out, and
Yeah.
we're going to give you tax breaks and subsidies and everything else. And then when those people want an 8-hour workday, you're going to call them a communist.
Right. And one of the things that bothers me with this whole billionaires that have, sucked up to Trump is, wait a minute, I'm struggling with this. I'm going to use Tim Cook as a good example. Okay.
Yep.
I've always liked my Apple products. And Tim Cook was a proud Democrat. Oh, not now, man. He just gives his gold things to Trump. It is all about the money. It is no longer about, I'm not even sure it's anything about the product anymore.
Let's see.
And so that really bothers me a lot.
I'm looking
But
around in my electronics here. I don't see a single Apple product. I do have an old iPod. That's about it.
oh, well,
I don't do Apple.
we are Apple people, but I don't know if I'd ever do it again.
Not
But
me.
the other thing that I want to say, this can be said no matter what we talk about. I personally believe Trump. Why is nobody paying attention to the money?
I know.
He's taking all the money.
I know.
I really, really believe that.
Okay, so
Yeah,
let's start a new video. Okay, so we're
okay,
let's end this one, and then we're gonna start on a new subject. And
okay.
all right, so let me. Okay, everybody, that's a wrap for this one, and we will be back pretty soon with another one. I'll upload this, and then we'll be working on the next one.
Okay.
Peace out.